Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks, and we are back once again working on our frigate. In this one, we've got quite a lot of random stuff to do right now. I am just trying to tidy up a little bit. I did a lot of work on the bridge off camera, and that means obviously I have added some microcontrollers too. So I'm just moving all of these, trying to get them all tidy in one spot so we can worry about what we want to do in today's episode. And the first thing that I want to kind of start working on, I don't know if we're going to get it all done in this episode, is I want to get some water cannons on the roof of this thing. So most of the weapons are hooked up at this point. A lot of the logic's kind of coming along. We've got bilge pumps in. We're going to start doing stabilizers, that kind of thing. I do want to get some fire cannons on the roof just so you can fight fires without having to go outside and manually do it. Just a nice little feature to have. I think most ships should have at least one fire cannon on them if possible. So I am just going to look for a spot on the roof to get these bad boys placed, and we're just going to get right into the building with this one, guys. All right, guys. Well, That was quite the montage. We got this one water cannon hooked up. Looks like it's working good. Now, I do want to mirror this on the other side. I probably won't add a secondary set of controls just because we're only using WASD on this one. So probably add another cannon on the opposite side of the ship that uses up, down, left, right. And we can pretty much call that done and dusted. I'll probably also make sure that they just share the same pipe. You guys got a little bit of the 35-part piping series that has been checked off the list for today's episode, so we can move on to other things. But real quick, I just wanted to show you kind of where the ship's at. This is a lot of the interior done. That yellow panel you see to the right was done off camera. That's kind of a manual trim panel for the engine room. So basically the captain can go down there and basically signal to the engineers to give the props or the rudders manual throttle to essentially steer the ship in a certain direction. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I mean, I didn't really do too much work off camera. Obviously there's a panel down in the engine room. You guys didn't see that corresponds to that. But other than that, I didn't really work on too much. I am working on the gearbox and the steering and all that kind of stuff right now. I want it so basically WASD controls you can spin on a pin if you want. So basically just pivot around a point. Or, I want it to also kind of change how much rudder you can give the ship depending on how fast you're going. This is a pretty fast ship, so I don't really want you guys to be able to go full rudder when we're going 55 knots on the water. That is very bad for the ship. But anyways, enough of that. We'll get right back into the building, I guess. The next thing on today's to-do list would be I want to make a drain, and I know we don't really have all that set up quite yet, but I want to make a fluid drain for the equipment room that we worked on last episode. If you guys didn't see that, go check it out. We added a big equipment room to the first or the main deck on the ship, but I want to add a fluid drain and an actual correct one. So we are going to do some more plumbing, classic, and I'm going to get a drain that basically goes along the roof here, and I need to run a drain for two different reasons. I need one to come up over onto this roof for the bathroom and the bridge. But I also need one to kind of come over that way for, the drain supply. So right now the white is the water supply, the black will be the drain supply. So we need to figure out a way to get fresh water over to the upstairs bathroom. And because of that, we also will have to have a drain. So because we're running that, I'm going to basically piggyback off of these, and then we'll run a drain into the floor over in the equipment room, which doesn't really need to be there. But realistically speaking, you would want a drain there just because if people were coming in there wet from the ocean, that the water would need to go somewhere. So I do want to put a drain in, completely unnecessary, classic. But, that's kind of the next thing that we're going to be working on here really is just doing some more plumbing. I'm just looking around the ship right now, trying to find a clean, good place to route these pipes. If you guys watch my channel for a long enough time, you know that I'm a little OCD when it comes to the piping, maybe a little. And so I really care about where the pipes go. And as you guys could see, I've been, looking around trying to plan this out for probably a good couple minutes in real life time. So, it is something that some people might say I spend too much time on, but I do think it does make a difference, especially trying to, just make all these look a lot cleaner, nicer, a little bit more put together. It also makes tracking down all of the fluids a lot easier and repairing everything a lot easier. So you can kind of follow pipes around, what they do. Besides the fact that I kind of paint match them for what they do. You'll know what they do just because I don't snake them through the walls, and I'm not really using a lot of enclosed pipes that you don't see. Like most of these pipes, when I use an enclosed pipe, it's just used as like a bulkhead where it's going through a solid wall. So I do that on purpose because in real life you would almost never want to put the pipes inside the wall on a moving ship because you need to repair them. In your house, it's a little different. Your house doesn't really bob and rock around unless it's a mobile home. But the general rule of thumb with that would be most of these pipes go on the outside of the wall. If it's a military commercial vessel, that way they can easily be serviced, easily be followed, maintained, that kind of thing. And it's a lot easier to fix things when you don't have to rip a wall apart. So on a warship, absolutely no reason to make it look good. All of this needs to go on the outside, be exposed, be able to be replaced, changed, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what the general rule of thumb is. I just try to, run a lot of pipes together, and I try to keep a lot of it exposed, actually. But that's also why I don't really get into the decoration with the pipes in the interior ever, is because basically by the time I'm ready to do the interior, there's enough piping around to be decorational that I don't really need to add it. But you guys can see I'm just going around painting the water supply. The fresh water supply gets that light blue band. You guys saw the fire water supply gets the dark red band, and the dirty water will be black. So going into our black water tank. Pretty self-explanatory, nothing too fancy. I am just, again, trying to make all of this look as good as I can. But yeah, that's really just kind of the name of the game. I spend way too much time doing this, so if you want your piping to look like this, you might have to spend a lot of time doing it as well, sadly. But just adding a couple supports. I don't really like when the pipes go really, really long lengths like that without an encased pipe. It doesn't really look like an actual pipe hanger in real life, but it's the closest we can get in this game, so we'll call it good enough. I am just going to throw a valve on here. I want to make sure we've got enough pumping power to get water up. And if you don't know how I do my plumbing systems, basically you can see there's no pump here. It's just coming out via the valve. The water tank downstairs is pressurized and heated and freshwater, so all of the freshwater plumbing is going to be actual freshwater plumbing that is warm. And since it's pressurized, we don't have to add a lot of pumps. But I do this not only because it's a little bit more realistic to do it that way. It's also not necessarily on a ship, but in this game specifically, the plumbing is completely unnecessary. But because I like to do it, it adds lag. And if I basically make the plumbing system pressurized, I only need to add one pump to the tank instead of one pump to every single outport, and it just makes it a lot lighter on the logic. But I also think it feels a lot better to walk up to like a sink or a drain and turn the valve rather than click a button. I don't really recall many times in my life where I clicked a button to turn on a sink. Usually it's a mechanical switch. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the water. Again, you don't need to do the water at all. I'm just doing it because it's fun. I like plumbing. And you guys can see this is going to be our drain line. We're just going to follow our water line. I mean, it's basically got to go to the same place, so might as well follow it, and we'll worry about where it goes once we get it below the deck. And so the rest of this shouldn't be too hard to make look good. We'll just block it out. I wanted to make sure that these guys had some support to them so they didn't just look like they were floating. In real life, you would definitely have to support that span, especially with the 90 in the way. But the same kind of thing, just going to label them, make them black so you guys know. These are the dirty, disgusting poo-poo water, and we'll send this downstairs into our black water tank. And we'll worry about a little bit more of the black water systems later down the line, but if you missed that episode, essentially how the black water works is in real life, you generally are not allowed to discharge sewage wherever you please. So you hold it in the tank until you get into international waters, and then you can discharge the sewage. Same kind of principle with this. So the tank is not very massive. It's not larger than the water tank itself, and that's because it's not designed to hold as much water as the tank itself. It's not designed to offload the poop into, I'm just going to call it poop, guys. It's gray water. But it's not really designed to offload that into a port. Generally speaking, I mean, you might be able to, but like on a ship like this, why would you even bother? It's just like a pain in the butt. Just dump it in the water. I know that sounds terrible for the environment, but like, guys, that's the state of the world we live in. So I guess that's just what we're going to do. It's a holding tank. You'll be able to discharge it whenever you please. If not, I can add up outflow for the people that want to be environmentally conscious, but this is a whack-out warship, and that is the very bottom of the priorities. So we don't care. We don't care about fuel economy. We don't care about money economy. We don't care about really resources. Honestly, we're pretty offensive to the environment in this building game, but that's all right because my ships look cool, and that's what it's all about, really. So I guess I can also say, while we're on the topic of that, if you play survival and you watch my content, I'm sorry, but that's all we're going to get into that. Most of these ships are outrageous, the cost when I'm done with them, and it's just because I just go overboard. But 90% of the ship is unnecessary, and the rest of it is kind kind of just there to be cool. So, but that's how I roll. And I just throwing a little window in here, adding some light. I'm just trying to kind of clean up this area. Up here is going to be like a break room. That bedroom right there is for the captain. And you can seal this floor off with the bridge from the rest of the ship, so you can kind of have like a secure separate entry. So the captain is not locked off from the bridge. If you do lock the bridge down, and I did that on purpose so you could come get to them, that's also why there's a little break room down here. So if you were locking down the bridge for a prolonged amount of time, you would have some amount of storage and comfort items such as, a bathroom and a sink and a bed and, just some basic food supplies, that kind of thing. So that's really the idea up here. This space up here is going to be a lot more for, officers, mission planning, briefing, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a lot more of a, less of a, we're working with our hands and a lot more working with our minds kind of a space. And because of that, I wanted it to be a little bit more comfortable in this room. The rest of the ship really is there to serve a function. And so this is kind of going to serve as like a break room for most people on the ship, as well as obviously we'll add a galley later on. But, it's just another little space, common area that people can use. This is going to probably be used again a lot by, officers, planning missions, that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to pretty it up. We're not going to finish this up in this episode. This will actually get done in a different episode, but this will pretty much bring us to the end of today's episode. So if you guys made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Your support helps, as always, means the world to me. So I really, really, really do appreciate it. The only reason I'm doing any of these builds is for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, tuning in, checking it out, staying interested, that kind of thing. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this one. So I got a couple links in the description. I'm going to plug real quick. If you guys haven't seen my Discord yet, check it out. It's a good place to build, make some friends. We got a build challenge going on over there. And if you don't know anything about the build challenge, definitely go check out my other build, which is the flying carrier we just started a little bit ago. That is going to be a fun one. So, but yeah, guys, that's like I said, that's pretty much all I got for this one. So again, thank you so much. I will catch you all in the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.